Sunday Money, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, also brought to you by Hercules Tires. We had to change the intro song. I was a little bit upset about that, but apparently we didn't purchase the copyright on Flirting with Disaster, so they told us to politely change it. So there we are. Hope you guys like it. I'm with my friends Lauren Fox.
Hello.
And Daryl Mott.
Mm-hmm.
So Daryl said he's just going to shake, nod his head, and say, the entire show because he poked the glass holes last week, apparently.
You started a lot of trouble.
Well, with only two people, really. They were very vocal because they really don't really know anything about the podcast, nor did they care to.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want them to listen.
We don't want them. If you don't want to listen to us, we don't want you to listen to us.
Yeah, we have 20 listeners this year.
Right.
So we don't even care about those extra
We're doing big
two.
things. It was a hot week on Twitter this week, wasn't it, Daryl?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Did you have a good week?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, good. So we can just get right into it. Actually, I wanted to address this quote-unquote riff we have with Plastic Box of Feelings. They are our coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
We all work for the same company. The big building in
Yeah.
Daytona and the big building down in Charlotte. We have, to those who don't know, a very cordial relationship. And we joke with each other all the time. Is that right, Daryl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And our thing from the beginning is people thought that we just stole this idea of two dudes, a girl, and a racing podcast. Because if you look at it from the screen, it looks relatively similar. Is that right, Daryl?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but this is my analogy of our two shows.
Mm-hmm.
I told Lauren that she agrees earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have Jack Daniels, right? Everybody likes Jack Daniels because it's readily available. You can go to the bar and get it. You can go to the gas station and get it. Everybody knows about Jack Daniels. Some people might not like Daniels, but the majority of the people like Jack Daniels if you like whiskey. That's fine because you can buy it anywhere. It'll get you drunk. Then you have Pappy Van Wickles. Not a lot of people know about Pappy Van Wickles because it is
Winkle.
Pappy Van Wickles.
Winkles. Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It is like $3,000 a bottle. Not many people know about Pappy Van Winkles.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently I don't either.
Apparently.
But when people do know about it, they really love Pappy Van Winkles.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows about Jack Daniels. You really know what you're going to get. You kind of get a couple variations, right? You get the Gentleman Jack, you get the Honey Jack, but there's only one Pappy Van Winkles, and there's only one Sunday Money. And once you find it, you are hooked.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
not everybody can afford to listen to Sunday Money.
Nope.
But the people who do are very high-end connoisseurs.
That's right.
So we are a high-end podcast for a high-end listener.
That's right.
And that's where we leave it at that. Glass Case of Emotion riff is the hatchet's buried. What, do you think so, Daryl? No, you're supposed to say nod. Yeah,
You're supposed to say no.
All right, so we'll revisit that another way because I don't want to get the glass holes fired up again. There's no reason for that. We're trying to get actually, if they don't like our show, I don't want them to tune in. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
If you are, we don't even have a name
Cheers.
for our listeners.
The money bags.
No.
We'll think on it.
We'll think about that.
We'll think on it.
Doesn't matter because we're a high-end product. So, so now let's get into the show. Now that the hatchet's buried, and I want Daryl to talk a little bit, not much.
Daryl, this is going to be a long hour if you don't.
Well,
I don't know.
speak up.
The fans might love it, actually. Which tweet would you like to open up with? Because there were several this week that gained some traction.
I don't know. Should we start with let's just go chronologically.
All right.
Let's start our friend Hailie Deegan.
Yeah.
She got a car this week.
Funny that you mentioned that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I drive a Ford Mustang in the Cup Series. Been driving a Ford Mustang for the last 2 years now. love Ford. Fords are great.
Mm-hmm.
We usually get Ford rental cars. I don't have a Ford vehicle to drive around. I just drive my 2006 Lincoln pickup around. And all these other Cup drivers, every single one, and the crew chiefs and the general managers, all of these people with these teams have rental, like loan vehicles, F-150s, Expeditions. Apparently, Go Fast is at the bottom of the Ford totem pole.
Yeah.
Because every time I ask for a loaner vehicle, I just want a normal base model economy F-150. Gets me from A to B. EcoBoost engine, aluminum body, best truck on the market. Can't get one. The allotment is full, is what I hear. So I happen to be scrolling through Twitter and see Hailie Deegan post this video in her very screechy voice of how excited she is about receiving her brand new Mustang GT500. And that thing is sweet. So so that kind of struck a little bit of a nerve with me, I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I get Hailie Deegan has 19 million followers. I have like all the 20 listeners on this show. But if we're thinking about it, I don't know. I think that it would be cool to have a vehicle. If I drive a Ford on Sunday, I'd like to drive a Ford on Monday.
You deserve it, Corey. They could at least give you a Ford Fiesta or something.
So I quote retweeted. I would drive a Ford Fiesta. I quote retweeted and said, "Oh sweet, all I get are 2 OGO Polos." Which this is false because they also give me like a quarter zip jacket.
That's nice.
And they gave me a T-shirt as well.
Yeah, quit complaining.
Yeah, so I have it made. So maybe one day Ford will give me a loaner vehicle, but until then, I hope Hailie Deegan really enjoys that GT500. What do you think, Daryl?
Well, yeah.
Daryl, that's enough. Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Just,
Well, at least people aren't going to be pissed off at you.
Uh-huh.
What? Good.
Oh,
That's what the people want. We got to spice it up a little bit today, Daryl. Come on.
You sound like a sim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Daryl,
what do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
What?
It just
Are you guys
pick
gonna?
one.
What
Are you guys going to talk racing?
No, we
Yeah.
want to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
No, if you guys are going to go talk racing, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then
Come back.
when we go to the break, I'll come back and talk about real world.
So
Okay.
our group chat, we fire back and forth like screenshots of either tweets or just racing topics.
So I should talk now, right?
Yeah. We
It's
fire.
fine.
That was the longest 5 minutes of my life.
I know.
First of all, what was the faking? That was like the fake version of Taking Care of Business. That song sucked, dude.
Are we just going to recap everything that we've talked about?
And Hailie Deegan.
What?
Listen, no, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I don't have an opinion on that. I like her.
I like her too, and she's great for the sport.
Give her what she needs. I don't know. I mean, she's young. She should have a cool car.
Yeah, I
Right?
agree.
What about Corey? He has a baby on the way.
You can put the baby in the back of the Lincoln.
I need a Ford Edge or something.
She got a Cobra, right? That's a Cobra.
Yeah, dude. She got a $90,000 Mustang.
Like
It's nasty.
Like if you go to your Ford dealership right now, they're gonna be like, "Well, we can order you one."
Yeah, we'll special order it for you. Yeah.
We don't have one on the lot.
No, it showed up right there in Temecula for Hailie Deegan.
Yeah, she's a superstar though.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm sure that was part of the deal that she struck with Ford. That's why she left Toyota and went to Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Give me a Mustang.
Good job. That's part of the deal. And probably some cash to go race. But kudos to Ford to getting her in the camp because she's a superstar in the making.
She's nice.
She is nice.
She's super nice.
Yeah.
She probably is very appreciative of her Cobra car.
Coming from the video, I mean, she should be. That is a sweet car.
I don't know who's negotiating your deals that you're just getting a half zip and some polos. I feel like you need some more muscle over there.
Well, negotiation also comes, you have to have a little bit of leverage.
What's that dude's name over there? Charlie or Richie or who's your boss?
Archie.
Listen up, Archie.
They don't want, no, it's not even between me and Archie. They don't give the team any loaner vehicles either.
Oh.
They give us some little bit of simulation help, some body panels, and a swift pat on the ass and say good luck, guys.
You listeners start crying for Corey. He gets paid very well.
I get paid good.
Especially for where he finishes every week. You make a good living for where you finish.
No, relative to the people I finish around, I get
You're
probably,
like the top pay.
No, get paid a quarter of the guys that I usually finish around every week.
Who behind you? Would you finish like 2 laps down this week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everybody
maybe 3.
Maybe 3 laps down this week.
Absolutely terrible this week. Yeah.
Terrible.
But 29th is where we stack up with
Uh-huh.
our budget and where we should finish with our cars every week.
And who's behind you? You got Poole, you got Gase, you got who else?
Joey
Quinn,
Bell.
our friend Quinn
Yeah.
is back there.
Hey,
Quinn.
Quinn listens to the show.
Thank you. We like Quinn.
I really liked him.
I do too. I would. Let's have him on as a guest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'm saying, out of those crew behind you, who gets paid the most? You.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But the people directly in front of me. But it doesn't matter. It's all relative.
They should make more money. They're in front of you.
There's all things considered. But
But you do. You do good.
I
is what
do.
I'm
I
saying.
do really good. I do good enough to purchase a 1970 Barracuda. Anybody
Yeah.
on my Instagram saw it.
That's a sweet looking car.
And it's going to be sweet when I'm done with it.
Are you going to keep it pink?
I'm going to change the white out and put flat black on it. Make it a little bit more manly.
You're gonna make that entire Barracuda
Shouldn't.
flat black.
No, I'm going to keep the pink on the sides.
Okay.
So, if anybody's watched this show, you haven't watched the Motor Trend show?
What, you have a show?
I watched it.
Motor Trend show.
Andrew and I have made a date out of every Monday night.
Wow.
We've been watching it.
Wow. And it's a well-produced show.
It's really good.
It's on the Motor Trend app. They've literally followed me around for 7 weeks leading up to the 500.
So who produced that?
NASCAR Production shot it and
Productions.
produced it, and Motor Trend had their hand over it, and they're the ones essentially paying for it.
That's so cool.
Thanks for the support, Daryl.
I'm gonna
Thanks
have
for
to watch
watching
that.
it. A lot of
What
people have been
channel is
watching
that?
it. It's on the app.
It's on
Motor
the app.
Trend app.
It's on a. I can't do it on the TV.
No.
You can
You
stream
can-
it to your TV. They have an app on your smart TV.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of work.
It's $2 a month. Get it. I think you can swing that.
I saw Mr. Tim Clark of NASCAR
Yeah.
was promoting it.
Yep.
I thought that was good.
Yep.
He was very excited. He said, "Since I've come to NASCAR, this is the best thing that
It is.
has been produced." So
A lot of the fans have been talking about it and watching it, and it's been a lot of fun. So that car was in this little bit that we went to a classic car dealership down in Daytona just to shoot some content. I was walking around, and I've been looking for a Chrysler car, whether it be a Plymouth or a Dodge or Chrysler, because I have a Hellcat motor, a whole package, they call it a Hellcrate with the transmission, all the wiring, and Hellcat engine. I got it from when Richard Rawlings was on our car a couple years ago, and it's been sitting in Dad's shop forever. So I've been waiting and looking for an old car to put it in because it would be sweet. And I found it. It was a pink Barracuda in mint condition.
How much is a car like that?
I haven't been able to find a Barracuda for less than like 60 grand. I got that one for 25 grand.
Look at you.
I don't know if I should say that. 'Cause-
Can't hide money.
Must be nice.
Can't hide money.
Yeah.
We chose between ramen and keeping our heat on.
What'd you choose?
Ramen.
Yeah.
Just put some blankets on.
Yeah, right. You can always get warm. You can't get unhungry.
Just dropping money on a Barracuda.
Yeah.
Lest you feel bad for the poor race car driver. I'm just saying.
I'm not asking anybody to feel bad for me. I have a great job. Watch the show, though.
I don't know,
Motor
man.
Trend,
I
NASCAR.
watched the race, and I have a cold take for you.
Let me know.
I don't think you're going to like it.
Hit me with it.
I think we should start another series. I said it.
That's not the first time anybody said that.
I think
but
we need
let me-
another
oh,
series
Please,
because I
please
was.
indulge me on what you think a series should be, Daryl.
Okay, I'm glad you asked. We should call it the Backyard Kids or the Back Marker Kids or whatever. The
All right.
whole second half of you
Strike
guys.
one on the name.
We're down 3 laps, 5 laps, 7 laps, 12. Like, enough. We need the top runners to have their own race, and then the back half to have their own race, and we just cut that up.
Yeah, it's called Saturday Night Racing, where the guys that don't qualify run a B main.
That's what I want.
Then go to any dirt track or asphalt track in the country on a
In
Saturday night.
NASCAR, that's what I want. Look it. Here's what it does. People get excited. They know not to expect some amazing things because you guys, or we could call it the Xfinity Series and just send all you chumps back to the Xfinity Series.
See, I just don't understand how you view competition or the variation of competition.
I think it's been a long time since you sat and stared at the TV screen and not been behind the wheel and watched the back half just be in the way and be laps down and be
I see
another
it.
lap down.
I see it
and be
firsthand.
another lap down. And you're going, there's 50 laps left. I'm cheering for the two drivers that are both between them 12 laps down. That's a long 50 laps of my life
So
to
what do
watch
you-
and
what
cheer
do you-
for you guys.
Believe me.
You wouldn't be that many laps down in another series, is my point.
It is infinitely harder driving the car than it is watching it. I can promise you, Daryl.
I was heartbroken, and I got drunk because of it. I'm like, I need another beer. I'm stressed out. There's my boy. He's another lap down.
You can put, how many times have I said it? You can put Kyle Busch in my car. It's not going to go that much faster.
Right.
It's still finishing 3 laps down
But if
because you're wide open 95% of the time. So that we call is terminal velocity. We've
we
said it
touched
before.
a button,
No, because you don't.
touched my button,
Oh,
Daryl.
Lord, again? All I'm saying is that you would have been leading the race in another series. Instead, I have to watch you have a horrible day.
You have to be driving a good car to be leading that particular race.
But you would be the best car in that series.
Judging off of what?
I'm going to make it so that you guys are competitive in my new series.
How would you do that?
Called the Daryl series.
How would you do that?
Well, you guys are competitive.
How? How would you do that? Please explain to me how you're going to do that.
You're not competitive compared to the front half.
So, right.
We've talked
because
about
we
this.
don't spend the money that the big guys do. So how would you make a team owner that doesn't spend any money try to make it actually
I haven't figured out how
smart
to make
business
team
model
do that?
Huh?
You guys should be your own owners.
What?
You could own your own team.
Believe me, I would if I had somebody that. You got to have somebody really rich to fund it, right? You do, because the overhead for a cup team is a shitload of money.
Did you watch the race, Lauren?
Yeah, I was there.
I know, but did you watch? It was rough, right?
Did you see the video?
I don't think it was any rough than any other week.
No, it's not that much
There's
different.
not a lot of races where we finish like that, where there's so many people down, right?
Because it went green. There was no cautions.
Yeah, I know.
That's just sometimes that happens. I don't know if you watched any of the races from quote-unquote the good old days, Daryl, in the early 80s.
Oh, yeah, where guys were winning the race,
by 4 laps.
Yeah.
So the entire field was down 4 laps. So what do we just do, send those guys down to race in Xfinity too? Or I guess Grand National back then? And you only have Richard Petty with 100 more horsepower than everybody else in the field just riding around on Sunday by himself?
Well, if you're new to Sunday Money, we have talked about this before, about would Corey be a superstar in Xfinity or is he better off in Cup? And he has said over and over, Cup is a better situation for you to be in because...
It's the hand of cards that I have to play.
Yeah.
Because the sponsorship money that I have would be blown in about 6 races of Junior Motorsports. And what do I get out of 6 races of Junior Motorsports?
Probably not a lot.
Because if you look at Dale Hemrick, the 2019 Rookie of the Year in the Cup Series, he has had 2 awful races in juniors cars. If he continues that, I like Daniel. Him and I consider him a good friend. But if he doesn't pop off a win or 2, he's going to be in bad shape. He's going to be in bad shape because he's taking investor money, to try to get in that deal. He's bent on himself. And if a good Xfinity deal or a good Cup deal doesn't pop up next year where he doesn't pay $170,000 a race, that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to play the long game. I'm not trying to play the short game to put a couple trophies on my shelf. I'm trying to stay in the garage and hope that if somebody gets hurt, I don't hope anybody gets hurt, but if something does happen and somebody can't race, I'm the one that gets the call, not somebody on Saturday.
You got to write some more letters.
Nope, the letter writing's over. I'm letting that story just play out how it will.
Have you heard anything?
No. I mean, if any, I've said from the beginning, I'm at the bottom of that list. It's probably a short list of 6 guys.
Who's above it?
Brad.
Go ahead.
Eric Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Larson.
You're talking about 2 guys that have to trade manufacturers for their entire careers just to come over to Hendrick.
Well, their contracts are up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean they're free agents. But they still have business relationships with those manufacturers.
I agree.
That's not an easy thing for Brad to just be like, bye, Ford.
I agree 100%.
Hailie Deegan could do that because she was 10 seconds into her career.
Yeah. And there's probably, you could put Ross in that mix because he's in the Chevy camp. You could put Daniel Hemrick in that mix.
I still pick you. Go ahead.
You're biased, though.
No, I'm not. I think you're a good race car driver.
I would like to think I am, too.
And when you come to race the Daryl series, the Daryl National Series, you're going to be one of the top 3 in my series.
So you've been beating the Alex Bowman drum for a while now.
I think Alex Bowman's a fantastic driver.
And I have agreed with you.
Mm-hmm.
I've raced with Alex Bowman. He beat me by 2 points in the 2011 K&N Rookie of the Year points because I blew up at Dover out to beat him. Who's counting? Who would have thought that Alex Bowman would be in contention to win Cup races each and every week 5 years ago when he was driving for Tommy Baldwin? And he was that guy who was standing out in his car while his car was on fire, waving his hand at the freaking the
Have you
track
seen that
worker.
Clip
you never seen it? Oh, we'll watch it later. Maybe they could put it up in the video while we're talking about it.
His car's on fire and he gets out and the little fire truck zooms up and this guy gets out to go help the fire and falls down.
Oh,
and
he's got the fire extinguisher in his hand and takes a digger head on the asphalt.
I do remember
and
that.
And he takes his hand what the hell? That guy
is going to be winning Cup races.
Who was at the time running 28th to 32nd in Tommy Baldwin's car with decent motors and RCR cars is now winning races at Hendrick Motorsports. So that's what gives me a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
Because if you can, I'm not one for comparison, but that's the problem with the world anymore. You're always compared to somebody else. So if you actually compare numbers and statistics, I'm right alongside Matt D, who's having a great year for Wood Brothers. And
There's a good
Alex
example.
Bowman.
Where was Matt finishing last year?
Well, he was driving the 95. He was driving some decent Gibbs cars, but
He wasn't finishing second and third.
no, he was running 13th to 18th, which was probably the cap of that car.
And then you give him a good shuttle, and where's
Now
he
look at him. He's leading practices, qualifying well, and racing well.
That's very interesting.
He's going to win a race this year.
Matt D.
Yeah, Matt's going to win a race this year.
So, do you think we finally have shown that people are starting to understand that
No, because you still are in the sport.
Yeah,
And
because
you don't
just say
understand it.
stupid shit like you just said 5 minutes ago.
that I
Right.
want him to be the top driver in my series?
But then, on the other hand, you're saying that you want to put the last 10 cars in the Xfinity Series.
Well,
There are the back markers in the Xfinity Series too.
Yeah.
It's just guys who are running their business as a race team to not be a losing proposition. That's what those guys are doing.
so when someone like Blaney talks about these back marker guys and you hear the radio, you've probably heard the clip. Have you heard the clip?
I've heard all.
Where he's like, these
hear
guys need to get out of
Yeah.
here because they're in the way.
Yeah,
How does that make you feel?
Because
Because he's talking about your guys.
it's hard to get out of the way when you're looking through the mirror. It's a lot easier to race looking out the windshield than it is at the mirror, right?
Sure.
And those leaders are coming so fast. Your car's already driving like poop to begin with.
Uh-huh.
So you're already trying to hang on, trying to get the thing just around the racetrack by itself, let alone around other cars. And then a leader catches you. You can't see where he's been running, right? So you can't pick a lane, really. You can pick a lane. That's what the leaders get aggravated about is you move around. If you just stick to the bottom, if you're a slow car, if you stick to the bottom, then the leaders always know to go around.
It's like 2 racetracks.
I've been doing it long enough. I know how to get out of the way and actually save time. Like there's not an art, but there's a way to do it where you can actually benefit versus somebody racing in front of them. But there's guys that are new to the Cup Series that either have inexperienced spotters or have not a lot of experience getting lapped that can mess up somebody's day by not picking a lane.
Yeah.
So it's just a different style of racing.
Hmm.
That's why I like to do the other stuff like super late models to remind myself that I can still drive a race car fast.
I think you can. And Lauren does too, don't you?
I know
Lauren?
I can. I mean, I finished 16th last week at Vegas. Granted, a couple guys spun out or whatever, wrecked at the end, but
Yeah, 12 or so. But it didn't matter because then you found your way up there and
Yeah.
you were good.
I could have finished behind those guys that wrecked if I was some laps down, but I wasn't.
So after a week like this, do you feel dejected because it was a pretty bad finish?
Yeah, but I try to shake it off. I mean, I thought we were good in practice. We didn't make the right adjustments for Sunday. We tightened it up where we should have freed it up substantially more than I thought we needed. Just put it in the notes and come back better. And that's what you got to do.
When you're a driver, though, do you know you're 4 laps down or 5 laps? Does like somebody tell you, like, oh, now you're 5 down?
No,
you're
you
6
know,
down.
it's like an internal counter. Like, yep, you suck again as the leader goes by.
That's a long day.
Dude, it felt like Sunday was 500 laps.
All right,
It
well,
was
look, we've
miserable.
solved another NASCAR problem. You guys should not go to the Xfinity Series because you said it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't make things any better, and you would have less money.
Because the field of cars
Mm.
is the same. There's the guys who have all the resources and money,
Junior Motorsports, blah, 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 blah,
Penske.
blah. Penske.
Colleague, right?
They got
Those
them-
guys have the resources, the people, and the drivers.
And then the rest of them.
And I don't want to pick on BJ because BJ is a friend of mine. But then you have the BJ McLeod Motorsports who are trying to make a business out of a race team, right? And his cars aren't the newest. His engines aren't the best. His people probably aren't the best. They probably work their fingers to the bone to get those cars ready each and every week. But it's not going to run as fast as a Penske car. It's just not.
Mm.
If you saw the tweet about the 14 car on the 7 post, that's a reason why they run fast, because they have that sort of stuff. I can promise you, a go fast car has never seen a 7 post.
Lauren,
Right.
he lost me. Do you know what he's talking about?
7 post is a rig. Did you watch the video? You probably didn't. It was a video Stuart House posted. It's a 7 post rig, they call it. It's essentially the car on scales.
This is the vibrating video.
The vibrating video.
Oh,
It
take us
it
through
just
that.
simulates the bumps and the stuff and all it loads of the racetrack. And they have all the load numbers to get really technical, wheel force. That's what the wheel force car is. When they go test, they have these like wheels on there with sensors to tell the load of what the actual wheel sees. that's like $300,000 a piece. So
Uh-huh.
you don't want to wreck that car. So then they load that data into the 7-post, which there are 3 rams that hook to the chassis, and then there's 4 rams that hook underneath each 4 tires, and it simulates the bumps, downforce, and lateral grip.
So you literally can run a racetrack without being at the racetrack.
Yep,
and you can test your car.
You can test your car, and you can make shock adjustments, bump stop adjustments. You can tell splitter deviation. You can tell platform, how much your tail drags, and everything. Yeah,
You need a machine like that, Corey.
yeah. That's why the big teams are that good, because they can unload perfect.
What about Uncle Tony? I thought you kind of work for Uncle Tony now.
No, I don't work for Uncle Tony.
I thought you have an alliance.
We got some cars that they weren't using anymore.
So
shift over to our
You ring up Gene and Uncle Tony. You can't say, "Can I borrow your 7-point?"
7-post.
Whatever.
No,
They wouldn't let you have access to that.
because they're using it. Same thing as their wind tunnel.
That's not fair.
That's the whole point about motorsports. It's not fair, Daryl. That's life.
This is
In
not
a
a fair
nutshell.
sport, is it?
No.
Man, gosh.
But
Well-
that's part of the deal. Speaking of wrecking cars and wrecking wheels, the next gen test was Monday and Tuesday.
Hard William Byron wadded it up.
I think it was kind of downplayed a little bit, to be honest with you.
Take us through it, Corey. This is where I was trying to tell you. I just go to the bathroom and you tell all your
we'd have
NASCAR
covered this
people.
way earlier, and the people would have been way more engaged.
No, they made it this far.
So they tested this new, they call it P3,
Mhm.
version 3, next gen car. It's got the side skirt vents and the new chassis design that lets the engine tuners get the valve covers off, and it's got some different roll bars. It's got some different little aero trinkets on it, changed from what they've learned from the previous 3 tests.
How does he get tapped to be the person to do that?
So it's went from manufacturer. So it started with RCR. So it started with Chevy, went to Ford with Joey at Phoenix, went to Eric Jones and Gibbs at Homestead, and then it went to Chevy with Will Byron and Hendrick.
Is that a good opportunity
What do you mean?
to be asked to do that?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think that it's quite the finished product, but I think it's very close to what they want that new car to be. So obviously it's going to be an advantage to drive it. But I think that the body's going to be a little bit different because they got to put the OEM specific character lines in the nose and tail and sides. So that'll change the aero balance a little bit. But from what it seems like, everybody's saying that it is a very tough car to drive, because the reason being, everybody talks about side force. What is side force? Well, this is side force.
Listen up, NASCAR Reddit. This one's for you.
Right now, the tails of our car, like the actual bumper covers, are offset probably 4 inches to the right. So that straightens the area between the right rear tire and the back of the bumper, straightens it up to make it more of a billboard to lean on. So when you turn the wheel off into the corner, the car doesn't want to spin out. That's what side force does for you. So back in the old days with the Lagunas and the Dodge Chargers, where the doors were all rounded, quarter panels were very small, tails weren't offset to the right. That's why those guys were hanging on for dear life, because they were probably making lift, for that matter. They weren't making downforce, and it had no side force.
You'd be a good crew chief.
I was a good crew chief back in the day, but good thing I switched back to being a driver, because it pays a little better, and it's way less responsibility.
Oh, Chad Knaus has a really nice house.
Oh yeah, that he does. Well, Chad Knaus has earned that nice house.
You could be a really good crew chief. That could be. I mean, you're very knowledgeable and well spoken, and I feel like
Daryl, you're crushing his dreams.
No, I'm just saying that. And
I'm gonna try to be a race car driver first, and then
Yeah.
if shit doesn't work out.
but isn't
no.
that nice to know? You could definitely crew chief it up too.
No.
I thought that was so cool that you're like double skilled. You're like a double threat, as they say.
Yeah, 5-tool athlete.
If you could dance, you'd be a triple threat.
Depends how much alcohol I've had.
Well, actually,
Pappy Van Winkle.
he's a good host and a crew chief, and you are a triple
He's
threat.
a triple threat.
Yeah. So where was I?
Saying that
Car doesn't
William-
have as much side force because the tail is straight up. It looks actually like a stock car
I believe
on the street.
you were telling us what happened with William Byron. You were getting to that.
Yeah.
So
So he spun out day 1. Didn't touch nothing. No harm, no foul. Dialed it in. Let's make it drive a little better. I also heard that it wasn't running very fast. I don't know why that would be. I don't know if the car was a little bit heavier than wants to be racing. We were running, for context, 42 flats, we were running 42 flats at California in race trim. That car was running 44 flats, so 2 seconds slower than what we were running the day before with our current cars.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that has to do with overall downforce that the new car has less of, and side force, because you just don't have that lateral grip to lean on. And then come Tuesday afternoon, he wadded that thing up. I don't know how bad, but I also had inside sources that said that was the hardest hit he's ever had in his life. So
He lost control of the race car.
he spun out of 2 and hit the inside wall, which the inside wall of California is like 400 yards away. So I don't know what happened if he just tried chasing it, finally lost it and schmeleed the fence. But I'm sure NASCAR wasn't very happy about that. And then O'Donnell tweeted, yeah, he got in a little incident out of turn 2. But I can assure you, you really have to schmelee one.
That pretty much ended the test?
That was the end of the test. It was the end of the second day anyways. But you wouldn't say that it was the hardest hit you ever had in your life if you didn't hit the wall pretty hard. So maybe they'll have to get busy and build another car. I don't know.
So what are you prophesizing here? What are you saying?
As a driver, I'm excited to hear that the cars are hard to drive.
However,
that's it.
no, you said maybe they're going to have to.
No.
Is it?
Make them hard to drive again.
Yeah.
Make Cup cars hard to drive again. I need a hat, a red one with white letters. Make Cup cars hard to drive again. And that's even with a big spoiler on the back too. So he spun out and lost it. So I'm interested to see that. I'm glad to see Cup cars are going to be hard to drive again. I heard they don't have any bump stops. They have just straight coilovers, which is going to be interesting. So I'm excited to see the direction they take those things.
My goodness.
We have a wrecked next-gen car.
So
that's big news. I think that's big news that like Twitter didn't really pick up on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, I think the fact that the prototype car that we're trying to figure out and
it's
and
so
learn
difficult to drive.
is so difficult to drive that Will Byron
Pulled an Angela Rush right there on the racetrack.
Yikes, don't compare the... Oh, my gosh, we forgot to talk about that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Right there on their racetrack. Wadded it up in turn 2 by his lonesome.
Dude, that
was crazy.
Yeah, so we're going to move on from the next-gen car, and we're going to cover the topic everybody wants to talk about.
I got jokes.
Let's take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about...
lack of self-awareness.
Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina is redefining the drive-thru coffee game in Race City, USA. The Clutch experience is fast, friendly, and delicious. Clutch Coffee Bar offers signature lattes and mochas, custom-flavored infused energy drinks, smoothies, and more. You can also order our signature Clutch coffee beans online and have them shipped directly to you. Go to clutchcoffeebar.com or visit our 2 locations in Mooresville, 356 Williamson Road and 154 West Plaza Drive. Power up today with Clutch Coffee Bar.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTire.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Welcome back to Sunday Money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good name.
It is a great name.
It is a good name. We picked a good name.
Yeah. T-shirts available. CoreyTheJoyRacing.com/merch if you want one.
Are you going to wear one at the
That's not
racetrack?
on our list
No,
of
I'm actually
sponsors.
wearing, you're going to make fun of me because I'm wearing a Stack and Penny shirt.
Yeah, where's ours?
Oh, look at.
I'd never wear
In
that.
Corey, we
Never mind.
trust. Comparing yourself to Abe Lincoln, that's
I
large.
superimposed my face on a penny on the front pocket.
Oh, boy.
Lauren, you know how we come in here every week to help out Corey because we're nice?
Yeah.
You know he didn't retweet the podcast last week?
Corey.
You know,
oh, my gosh.
He went to little Michael McDowell Church.
Uh-huh.
I'm told he didn't bring it up there either. I got spies out there, Corey. Didn't mention the podcast once.
Daryl, you can't talk
Daryl.
about your podcast at church.
Glass Case talks about theirs all the time. Michael
Doesn't
Waltrip's
matter.
talking about
Ryan
his all the
Blaney
time.
isn't going to church.
No.
I just want to thank God for this podcast and my co-hosts and hope they have a healthy week.
God.
So this Michael McDowell little church that you speak of, it was called a sunrise service out in the fan zone on a stage.
A lot of fans.
With Love and Outcome was the band that played before, and they actually were really good. And then McDowell, myself, Erica Marola, and Ty Dillon stood up there and kind of talked about our walk and testimony, and for about a half hour, and then we went back inside. But it was good. Thanks for everybody who came out. It was about 400 people.
Did Ty Dillon talk about his journey?
A little bit, yeah.
From Pop Pop's Bank to his career?
Stop. Before we went to break.
Oh, God.
I'm going to get tweets.
Before we went to break.
We were talking about Angela Rush.
Ruck.
She took some Ambien.
I'm going to try.
Got on the Twitter.
Yeah, I'm going to try to not pick on her so much, but.
I like
She's
her.
a very nice lady.
With apparently zero self-awareness. She tweeted, she had a little, so she spun out getting up to speed at Vegas. She went from third gear trying to shift to fourth.
I'm going to look up the tweet.
Actually, she probably went from second to first when she was just pulling up onto the racetrack. She went to go push it into third gear and went to first gear, over-revved it, spun out by herself. So then Parker subtweeted, he quote retweeted and said NASCAR needs to up the standards of qualification for these drivers. You shouldn't be able to jump in. So she waited 4 days. Do you have the tweet pulled up?
At 11:07
So let's
PM.
just Parker knows every aspect of motorsports from Formula One to NASCAR to MotoGP. That guy knows a lot of stuff. And he's on NBC Sports and can articulate the sport really well. When he says something, he has factual evidence to back it up behind it. So then carry on of what she said.
Well, so Parker said, let's raise the qualification standards for the top 3 series. As a side note, I can't wait till a woman driver absolutely laps the field one day. Truly, we're the only sport where men and women can compete on an equal ground. Can't wait till a super talented woman are throughout the field. So
there you go.
Nice.
That was a nice tweet, which was backed by, everybody says we need to raise the qualifications up for drivers, but that's another topic for another day.
Well,
what did she respond with?
At 11:07 p.m., she said, "Dipshit, I blew a tire. The difference between me and you, little bitch, is I make my own path." ! In fact, if you do not shut your trap, I will slap your little ass. Well, that's okay. Sad little fellas that no one dated in high school. Ooh.
Dude.
Guys, I don't think she tweeted that. Or if she did...
She's not verified. So how do we know for sure?
If she did, then she had to be on Ambien or something. Because the way that she used punctuation is not consistent with all the rest of her tweets.
Okay, so you did a little investigation.
I did a little investigation.
I will slap your
So-
little
I
ass.
think that her husband probably did tweet it, or she was on Ambien.
Oh, yeah, that's the follow-up.
We'll give her the benefit of the doubt. And if she's driving a truck, whether or not she has a prescription for Ambien, I don't know if that's the safest thing to take.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, so not even a few hours later,
Maybe
the
she
sun
had a
came up.
couple
So
too many
the sun came up
tequila
the next
shots.
day. Maybe so. Maybe she was hammered and fired one off.
Right.
Wow, where do I start? Obviously, a tweet was sent from my account last night that's caused a bit of a stir. Truth is, my husband Mike responded from my phone. He was pretty upset with the comment from Parker. I would have handled it different. LOL. But I love the support. Thank you.
Thank you. And then she used it. Then she used a thread to start her husband his own Twitter handle.
Give him a follow.
Give him a follow, you little bitch.
She got
You
slapped.
dipshit.
Parker gonna get slapped.
What do you think the chances are that was her that fired that tweet off?
I'm sure she was pissed.
I don't think she doesn't seem like. I don't know. I don't think it was her. I don't know
All right.
about percentage, but
All right.
I don't think it was
So we'll
her.
take her word for it. You know what? She's innocent until proven guilty, and we're never gonna find out if she's guilty or not.
But it's nice.
I just think a lot of women aren't I don't know. That just seems like more of a male response to me.
All right, that's fair.
But never dated nobody in high school?
What?
You tiny little man.
I think that sounds like something that a guy would say.
Yeah.
Who, in turn, dated nobody in high school, right? He wouldn't have said that
Agreed.
unless he knew
Agreed.
exactly who that was.
That's
the
incredible.
guy.
Anyways, That was fun.
let's move on. I'm glad we talked about that.
That was
Parker
hilarious.
listens to the show. We got your back,
Parker.
I do agree with what Parker said.
Yeah.
Have you seen there's like this other thing going on
There's
this
guys in that that he's that
Absolutely.
that are on that list too.
Not just a couple women. There's plenty of people who have no
business
being
doing.
out there. Just because you got $7,500 to pay for tires to drive for, I don't want to name names, but for somebody,
Right.
doesn't mean you deserve to be in that Xfinity field. But
Well, I was going to ask, I don't know where the pushbacks come in, and I haven't really seen it. Maybe you guys have seen it. There's like this weird tension right now between YouTubers and somebody. All the NASCAR YouTubers are like, we
What?
deserve to be here. And
what are you
there's,
talking about?
I just keep seeing these tweets from some of the, the YouTubers that we love that are saying like, well, we should have media credentials and we're doing a good job to like raise awareness for the sport.
I don't disagree with that.
Is somebody telling them that they can't?
I don't know.
Oh, because I think their content's pretty good and they have a lot of subscribers and it's interesting. So I want to know how you feel. We could add more journalists, right?
It's just a different portal for fans to watch the sport and take content. So, I don't know enough about what classifies as,
Right.
correct content or what NASCAR wants people. Like Eric Eastep, great example.
That's what I'm asking.
Been on the show.
Should he have to jump through hoops to get credentials to go
No.
to a race? Or do you think
No.
NASCAR should go out of their way to make sure these guys have a seat and are welcome and can cover the sport too?
I think a certain amount.
I'm not that familiar with these NASCAR YouTubers. So, like, what are they doing, though? Like, are they just doing recaps of the
Yeah.
race on the
Yeah.
weekends?
They're shooting
Are
interviews.
they doing interviews?
Yeah.
Okay, all
They're
right,
doing
that
some
makes
interviews.
sense.
Yeah, and I did some stuff with Eastep this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, they bring their camera and they do some interviews and they're doing a good job. But
Okay,
I feel like
then that makes sense.
But
maybe
where's-
some other journalists might feel threatened. that
Where
these
is the
new
bar? Where is the
Right.
bar you have to set, right? Is there a certain amount of time you have to do it for before you get
quality
quality?
standards?
Yeah,
Right.
is there? Yeah, you have to.
I
be
mean,
put through
because
the
I could
ringer
start a
almost.
YouTube page and say,
Right.
hey,
You're a vlogger.
yeah, I'm an influencer.
Yeah. Now, if you want to compare, that guy who asked that outlandish question to Joey Logano in the Vegas Media Center,
Mm.
that guy shouldn't be allowed in the Media Center.
Right.
But Eric Eastep, who's actually spent a lot of time and his own money
Agreed.
to go to the races and actually put out quality content, has to jump through hoops and get a hot pass and beg for it. That's not right. But that's
Yeah.
that's a new area that NASCAR's never had to deal with before. So I'm sure that
Right. They're just
I'm
trying
sure
to
they're
figure
looking
it
at
all
it.
out.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. I thought, like, well, I hope nobody's giving them a hard time. They should have an invite. They do a great job. Darian's another YouTuber, Black Flag Matter. Like, these guys are
Mhm.
good and they make good content.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, I hope they're getting.
I think there has to be
Welcomed.
an approval process, but I think that's just another area they have to look at. I'm sure they're looking at it because they're always a couple steps ahead of what actually is like kind of out there. But
Well, I could see even television being a little iffy about it
Mhm.
because, here they have this platform that is popular.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
So I was just wondering what you thought as a driver. Do you mind if there's a few more people running around with mics and cameras asking for questions?
I think the more, let me try to figure out the best way to say it because I was going to originally say the more people covering the sport, the better. That's probably not the case.
No.
I think you can lose some of the, facts when it comes to a lot of people looking at the sport from their own lens that probably don't have a lot of background in covering the sport.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
Yeah, I'm looking right into your soul right now, Daryl. So I don't want to. There are people who want to do it as a race fan. There's also people that want to do it to be a respected journalist.
Right.
And there is a pretty clear difference when you watch people's content, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be an anonymous name, that people just fire facts off under some account that's blocked, or an anonymous name. There's 3 or 4 that I have in mind that I'm not going to say. Some people, some of those are worth it. Some of those aren't worth it.
But
So-
hard cards are very expensive. So I was
Yeah,
just saying,
they're
maybe
like $8,000.
yeah, and that's probably not doable for some of these YouTubers. So maybe NASCAR should have like an hour program like we had to go to about not touching people's heinies and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe they could have a journalist program that you have to go through that's saying, here's the rules. If you're going to cover
Yeah.
the sport of the track, if you break these rules, you're out. But because you're trying so hard, we're going to help you out with a hard card.
Yeah, that's a
Well, there are a lot of rules as far as covering NASCAR. Like I think one of the there was a videographer or photographer or something that got thrown out this weekend on Xfinity Day at Auto Club because they went over the wall at the end of the race before they were supposed to. And if you're not out there week to week and you know kind of the procedures and here's when you're allowed to be here and here's when you're not, then it can get confusing. So they threw them out.
Tossed his ass.
Well, shout out to you guys. We'd appreciate you covering the sport. I like your content. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, so I think...
as long as they're saying nice things about our podcast.
That's right. If you don't, then get out of here.
You're dead to me.
You're off the hot pass list.
Yep.
That's just a platform I don't really know a whole lot about, whether it be media in general.
Yeah, I just was wondering your thought of it because I've seen it on Twitter a lot.
I think I just think there's people that are devoting a lot of time and money to covering the sport, and even the people who aren't on YouTube, right? I just think about guys like Dustin Albino that are just come to mind as doing a lot of time, spending a lot of money covering the sport from a good place that likes the sport, wants to see it succeed. But I'm going to stick to the stuff I know.
Well, the media landscape is changing. I mean, you look at like Jeff Gluck, like with The Athletic now, who we're paying to read his stories.
Did you see Jeff Gluck's little Twitter story
about the dragon?
That was very funny.
That was very and people.
I was
people
like, "What is he
that.
talking about?" It took me a long time to figure out what that was all about.
I had to read it 3 times to figure out what it was.
Okay.
We need to recap.
Go to Jeff Gluck's Twitter
and then go look at Clint Boyer's paint scheme for Talladega.
Yeah, it's not what it's going to be. I don't think.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. That's how good this company is. They're that fast. Did you see the paint scheme for Talladega? Yeah. I'm just saying. That's pretty funny.
All right, good. Hey, well, I think Jeff should get a little bit of a cut off a merchandise sale for that. Huh?
Did you listen to the podcast?
I did a little bit. I'll be honest.
Clint Boyer one.
I don't think it's going to last very long. It's hard to do it over the phone.
We're gonna have to cut that out. Otherwise, you're gonna
take us to war with another podcast. God. We can't keep fighting with these podcasts.
We can't fight with Dave Portnoy.
I don't know. I think it's hard to carve time out every week to talk for an hour and a half. It really is. Like, because it's hard to line up schedules, especially when it's Portnoy and Clint Boyer. Like, those guys have a lot of stuff going on. And especially for Clint to call in, right? So the audio is not very good.
I'm hoping they get together and they'll do
it in person, which I'm sure they're going to do some at-track stuff, whether it be at Talladega or wherever else they go. But it's good for
Here we go.
Good for the sport, being that they have their cult following, because it is a cult following. Just looking at the sport, and they can generate their own opinions on it after that. But as long as you get people's eyeballs and ears on the sport, I think it's good. But
we should have Dave on to promote his podcast.
Yeah,
just
Dave
promote it for
Portnoy, if you want to
Rubbins
come on
Racing.
here.
Check it out, and let us know what you think.
TS,
because we're not changing what we do.
This
has worked for a little while, and we like it. Whether or not you like it, go listen to Glass Case.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Are you starting another war? I thought we were done.
The hatchet's buried.
No, fuck Glass Case of Emotion.
No. Stop that, Daryl.
Guys, I shared my hand sanitizer with Kim Kuhn this weekend on our flight home.
We are all friends. We're everybody's friends here.
You want to get into the Blaney Daryl fight?
I don't share my hand sanitizer with just anyone.
Yeah.
That's on our list. We can either talk about this or that.
No. What?
Well, we have to address it. TS at, what's this?
Yeah, Tony Stewart's going to Indy, racing the Xfinity race.
Do you want to talk about it?
There you go. There you have it.
That's exciting.
Tony Stewart, Indiana hometown.
That's
I don't actually know what his hometown is.
It'd be great to see him back there.
Yeah, well, it'd be cool to see old Smoke back in NASCAR.
And what's the latest on the $100,000 bounty?
Chase is going to be the first one next week in Atlanta. Going for it.
Mm-hmm.
I give him a 33% chance of getting it.
You know, it's really
33?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
It's really,
why?
Because it's he's good at Atlanta, but Kyle Busch is really good. His trucks are really good right now.
But didn't we come
33 is actually a high chance of. It's a fairly high chance.
We just came full circle though.
Yeah.
We're like right back where we started now, where people are like, you have to go to Atlanta. This is going to be such a cool race.
That's good. They need to do more stuff like that to incentivize people to come to those.
Back in the day when they had the Winston Million, where you had to win 3 races, right? And Jeff Gordon followed the Brinks truck with the fake money flying at the back. That's what people want to see. More incentives, whether it be an incentive to win all 3 stages, like a clean sweep, you get an extra $50,000 or whatever. They need to do stuff like that to make people want to tune in for the entire race. That's just what my opinion is, but that's way above my pay grade.
All right. There you go.
Let's read a couple reviews, because I got to go.
You don't want to talk about In-N-Out Burger?
No, because it sucks.
I think we have to take another break.
We do need to take another break. We'll come back.
Performer of the
Oh,
week.
that's right.
We'll come back in just a moment and we'll wrap it up.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTire.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
And we're back.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna do the Clutch Performer of the Week. So cover that, Daryl.
The Clutch Performer of the Week. The Clutch Performer of the Week brought to you by Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina. You can order your Clutch coffee beans online and have them shipped directly to you. Go to clutchcoffeebar.com, and that's good because I forget coffee sometimes when I go to the store. I go to the store and I get back and I have everything. And then I realize I have one thing of coffee left. So it's nice that they can ship them right to you. Go to clutchcoffeebar.com.
So who's that Clutch Coffee Performer of the Week?
This one's easy this week.
I'm gonna go with Alex Bowman.
I concur.
He won both practice sessions, and he won the race.
Yeah.
In dominating fashion.
Best driver in Cup under 30, no doubt.
And now he's going to go get a tattoo.
Which,
Yeah.
Alex, don't do that.
Don't
You're going to
do that.
regret.
But he's playing it up. I think you got to get it. If you put that much social media buzz around it, you can't not get it now.
He's going to put it like way up on his hip bone like the other guys do, right?
You
Like,
can't
I got
not.
it.
You
It's up
can't
here.
not get it now.
Mhm.
You got to do it.
If he's a boss, he'll get it on his face. Just an 88 right on his cheek like Post Malone.
No, on like
Please
a round,
don't.
like Mike Tyson.
Well, the reviews are pouring in, and they're not all nice. Do you want to start?
They're all
Because
pointed at
Daryl
you. Let's all
started
pick
a
one.
battle.
Yeah.
Daryl, you go first. Read your favorite.
Okay. Well, I mean, there are plenty of 5 stars, so thanks, guys. Okay, this one's from Jeff.070.
I think that might be O.
070, whatever. Off-putting, 3 stars.
I love it.
Although I like Corey as a driver and enjoy some aspects of this podcast, I was actually excited when I heard he had a podcast. But I must say, I find it hard to listen to y'all put down your fellow podcast shows. I actually
Aw.
think that it's very rude. I'm a fan of Glass Case of Emotion, and y'all are not better. So you can forget that. As for the co-hosts, sorry. Until I listened to the show, I had no clue about y'all. Still don't really.
You know what? We don't really want snowflakes listening to our show anyways. So
No.
Take it along. Move along,
I'm
Jeff.
I'm glad you listened to one episode. Now just continue with your previously scheduled service.
You may go. All right, who's next?
Go ahead.
What, me again?
No.
Lauren, you got one?
No.
All right,
Okay.
I'll say this one was an easy pick. My new favorite driver, Super Shoe, by Lieutenant Nick Henry. Love this podcast. I'm an auto mechanic, and I look forward to listening to this podcast every week at work while turning wrenches. I appreciate Corey's in-depth looks at the sport, his storytelling, and his Logano impression. Thank you. Also, his explanations of the technical stuff, unless Daryl interrupts. But Daryl did not interrupt today.
Thank you.
Good job. Lauren is awesome. Daryl provides the banter, and both are super
Awesome.
entertaining. I listened to the Dale Jr. download, the door bumper clear as well, but I look forward to Sunday Money more. As a fan who was looking for a new driver to get behind since Dale Jr. retired, Corey's become a new favorite. I hope he gets in the 48 ride. Mainly so he can get more chances to win, but also I can stay loyal to my Hendrick Chevrolets. Thanks, Lieutenant Nick Henry.
That was nice.
5 star. That was the best review we ever had in the show.
Lauren, you have one?
Hmm.
I can read one if you're looking.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay.
This is my favorite one. Definitely Bottom of the Barrel
Oh, boy.
by BSauce96. I like the bottom of the barrel thing.
Because-
I said earlier, I think that's
because-
probably what we should have named the podcast.
You know what it is? It's the barrel of the Pappy Van Winkle. That's what it
Mhm.
is. One last bottle of all the strong stuff that nobody really wants because
Good
they
to-
can't afford it.
Good to the last drop.
That's right. Out of all the racing podcasts out there, this one is for sure the worst. Turn your time devotion elsewhere, whether it's DJD, DBC, GCOE, so many damn acronyms, or the new Barstool show. Well, thank you, BSauce96.
Now, GTFO.
We got
Off
one
our
star.
podcast.
That was not nice.
KMA.
Another 1 star from eman526. Boring.
Boring.
Very boring and no personality. I would recommend listening if you're trying to be put to sleep. Literally listen to any other NASCAR podcast before this one. Thanks.
You know
I
what,
think
man?
we should make a commercial and it should just be all of the bad reviews.
Yeah, like
and
bad-
then that's how we should promote the show.
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
We'll do that.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
All right.
Like bad tweets or like mean tweets.
Mean tweets.
Let's do
Yeah.
it. We have a 5-star from Miss Buttrim. I love how blunt Corey is. In this PC world, we need more people to tell it like it is. If I order a shirt, can I get a personal thank you message from Daryl? I crack up every time I hear it. If you order a shirt, I will definitely say thank you.
How are you? All right, enough of the reviews. Thank you.
Thank you
Time
for
to
the
go.
reviews, guys.
Leave
5 stars.
I got to read this O'Reilly's thing, so everybody tune in because it's a big month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. They will help make your auto repair, maintenance, and restoration projects easier. So when your car isn't stopping like it used to, the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help you find the brake parts and supplies you need to do the job right the first time. Now, for a limited time, save 15% when you buy any set of Brake Best pads and 2 Brake Best rotors. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. I got to get some parts. I got to go O'Reilly's and get some parts for the old Barracuda. Ooh, Barracuda. We might change the name of the song to that one.
Sorry, we can't afford that one either.
All right, that's enough for the day. Tune in next week. We're going to Phoenix. And remember, Sunday Money is presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Also brought to you by Hercules Tires. Our producer is Alexa Henriette.